My name is Jason Washburn. I was a corporal in the United States Marine Corps, in which I served 4 years. I did 3 tours in Iraq. My first 2 tours were with the 1st Battalion, 4th Marines, Charlie Company, and my third tour was with 3rd Battalion, 1st Marines Weapon Company. I was in the initial invasion, and eventually after the invasion was done, we settled down in Al-Hila. This was in '03. From '04 to '05, I was in Najaf, and from '05 to '06, I was in Haditha. During the course of my 3 tours, the rules of engagement changed a lot. It seemed like every time we turned around, we had different rules of engagement, and they told us the reasons they were changing them was because it depended on the climate of the area at the time, what the threat level was deemed to be, and the higher the threat level was, the more viciously we were permitted and expected to respond. And for example, during the invasion, we were told to use target identification before engaging with anyone. But if the town or the city that we were approaching was a known threat, if the unit that went through the area before we did took a high number of casualties, we were basically, we were allowed to shoot whatever we wanted. It was deemed to be a free fire zone. So we would roll through the town, and anything that we saw, everything that we saw, we engaged it and opened fire on everything. And let's see. And there was really, there was really no rule governing the amount of force we were allowed to use on targets during the invasion. I remember one woman was walking by, and she was carrying a huge bag, and she looked like she was heading towards us. So we lit her up with the Mark 19, which is an automatic grenade launcher. And when the dust settled, we realized that the bag was only full of groceries. And she had been trying to bring us food, and we blew her to pieces for it. After the invasion ended and Bush declared mission accomplished, the rules changed pretty drastically. Instead of actually firing, we used a lot of, I guess, close combat, just hand-to-hand type stuff, just simple hand-to-hand violence to subdue people. There were a lot of times where we would be out on foot patrols, and we were ordered to not allow people to pass through our patrol formation. And unsuspecting villagers would try to pass through or cut through the formation, and we would butt stroke them, jab them with the muzzle, kick them or whatever, just get them out of the formation. And one time there was a guy on a bicycle with a basket full of groceries, and he tried to just roll through, and we clotheslined him and smashed up his bicycle for what? Passing through the formation. And but this is like what we were expected to do. And in another instance, we were ordered to guard a fuel station. At the end of the day, like nothing had happened, and we had mounted up into our trucks. And right when we were about to take off, a bunch of people, Iraqi people, rushed to the fuel pumps to try to take some fuel. And our squad leader called it in, and the response was over the radio was, "What do you think we want you to do? Go F them up." Obviously, in more colorful, language, but so we jumped off the trucks and charged at the Iraqis, and we really beat the hell out of them, and with rifles, fists, feet, everything else that we had available. So once they had either fled or were broken and bleeding, unconscious on the ground, we mounted back up in our trucks and left. We were never told to detain anyone there or, question anyone. It just messed them up, And most of the innocents that I actually saw get killed were behind the wheel of a vehicle, usually a taxi driver. I've been present for almost a dozen of those types of people that got killed just driving. During my third deployment, there was a rule in place where all Iraqi traffic had to pull off of the road to let military convoys pass by. If they didn't comply, or somebody got back on the road too early, they would get shot up. If they approached a checkpoint too fast or too recklessly, they would get shot up. Also, we were often told to be on the lookout for vehicle-borne IEDs, improvised explosive devices, matching the description of every taxi in Iraq. You know, be on the lookout for a car that has orange panel doors and, front that's white, or, vice versa. And it's like every taxi in Iraq, that's exactly what it looks like. And those are the cars that we're supposed to be looking out for that could be, VBIEDs. And so quite a few of those guys got shot up just because their car looked like what we were told to look out for. In another instance, it was actually a mayor of a town in our AO near Haditha that got shot. Our command showed us pictures from the incident. They had gathered the whole company together, and they were showing pictures of all of this, what everything looked like, and pointed out the reason that they did this was because there was a really nice, tight shot group in the windshield, and he announced to the company that this is what good Marine shooting looks like. And that was the mayor of the town. And it was actually my squad that was after that tasked with going to apologize to the family and pay reparations. But it was kind of like, basically all we did was go there and, give them some money and then leave. And, oh well, is, the way, it seemed they wanted us to apologize to them. It was really a joke. Something else we were actually encouraged to do, almost with a wink and a nudge, was to carry drop weapons, or by my third tour, drop shovels. What that basically is we would carry these weapons or shovels with us because in case we accidentally did shoot a civilian, we could just toss the weapon on the body and make them look like they were an insurgent. Or, like my friend here was saying, we were told by my third tour that if they were carrying a shovel or, in a heavy bag, if they were digging anywhere, especially near roads, that we could shoot them. And so we actually carried these, tools and weapons in our vehicles in case we accidentally shot an innocent civilian, and we could just toss it on there and be like, well, he was digging. I was within the rules of engagement. And this was commonly encouraged, but only behind closed doors. It wasn't obviously a public announcement that they would make. But yeah, it was pretty common. And so, yep, that's all I have to say.